Hi, it's Tim Gray. There's a lot of stuff floating around at the moment about social change and politics and all that stuff, loads of discussion. And here's an idea for that, working title, The Foreground Fallacy. I think the first stage in that is we have tended to assume that when we're having discussions with people that they're operating in rational mode about debate and ideas and reflection. And that was what we used to do back in the 90s in the environmental movement. Just sort of assume that if we could put problems and solutions in front of people, all we had to do was make them understand, and they would see it and they would latch onto it and they would do it. And it didn't happen because that's not how humans work. And we have a better understanding of that now. So sometimes you see people say, well, if it's not that, if he's not being rational, what's the other pole to that? Well, people are being emotional. They're operating out of passion, and really engaged with that. And that also can happen sometimes, but I think so often you see it's not that either. So I just want to sort of put forward a third option, which is that people are just reacting without sort of a depth of engagement and thought and focus and application. People just making responses, and it comes out of two things. It comes out of habits and worldviews and personal identity and attitudes and stuff on one hand, and the situation that they're in on the other. And I think it's just kind of housekeeping, a lot of it. It's people defending their mental structures, their internal structures, and venting off stress energy that builds up in those. And if that's true, then it has a couple of consequences. One of which is, we tend to assume that other people are operating in the same mode as we are. And if we're in a foreground mode, we tend to assume that the discussion we're having is also in a foreground mode. But if that's not true, it's like conducting diplomacy when you don't speak the same language as each other. And probably conflict is what's going to result from that. And the other reason why that might be important is, if we want to actually fix things and make things better, we need to understand where our efforts need to be applied. And it's important to have ideas and debate and reflection, rational discussion. But if a lot of the issues come from people's ingrained attitudes and beliefs and values and ways of looking at the world, then clearly what that means is a lot of our effort needs to be focused there on the much harder work of bringing people around to seeing things in different ways. So short version is, don't assume that people are operating in foreground mode. People have different capacities for that. And some people do that more than others. I do that quite a lot. But doing that depends on a whole load of things like personality and upbringing and life experience, and perhaps more than anything else, energy. To actually be actively in and projecting your ideas or your passions. It's tiring. And there's a certain amount of risk involved as well. You're sort of putting yourself out there. And I think it's unfair to expect that other people are expending that energy all the time. Most people just want to get on with what's important to them. And I think we need to understand that. And although it would be great for people to be more reflective, would probably help us to solve problems a lot faster. We have to start from where we are and recognise that not everybody has the same priorities as us, and we can't assume that they're operating in the foreground. Maybe they're just operating in the background, and as they pass by us on the way to do something that matters more to them than our thing does. Okay, I hope that wasn't too rambly, and perhaps it's a useful idea. If you're seeing this somewhere with comments like Facebook, then feel free to leave some. and I'll see you whenever the next one is.